Hey, good evening, everybody. It's about 9:22 p.m. I've got the place to myself for at least, I would say, another 47 minutes, maybe longer. I can't really say. Um, the reason being is because I'm home. I did work today, and I got off at 1:30, actually a little after 1:30, about 1:40, I would say. And um, basically have the place to myself this evening because my mom went out with my sisters to go see a Fleetwood Mac tribute band here in town called Fleetwood Mask. Apparently, they're pretty good. My one of my sisters has been Instagramming video of it, video portions of the concert, so people can see it that are not there, or at least friends and family, that is. So again, I'm doing taking this time right now to kind of give my live reaction thoughts to the making of My Little Pony the movie, the special that aired on Discovery Family this evening at 8:30 Pacific time. I'm pretty sure about 8:30 Eastern and about 7:30 Central. But yeah, I'm here to give my live reactions to the making of it. And you know, one thing that I'm trying to find her name up here. One thing that Zoe Saladana Anna said, or Zoe, I'm just going to call her Zoe. The girl, the actress that voices Captain Sorello, I think that's the name. One thing she did say at the beginning is, she's a child of the '80s, like I am, and she grew up with My Little Pony, the original one being one of her favorites, being a big part of her life at that time. Me, of course, I was a different story. I was more of Transformers. I was more of GI Joe, He Man. But again, like I said before, and I'll say again as I move my camera here a little bit, or computer anyway. But like I've said before, and I'll say again, um, I was a fan and of all those boy shows. But on occasions, if it was raining or there was no friends to play with or anything like that, and there was nothing really much to do, I would sit and watch My Little Pony and Jim with my sisters. And I did kind of enjoy them as when I saw them, but hey, I was like 6, 7 years old. You'll at that age back then you'll enjoy anything. So I ended up watching them, and I enjoyed it. Now, when she mentioned that, that did kind of resonate, especially when it came to this special, because when I watched this and I DVR'd it as well as I watched it, um, it the special felt like, how do I put this? It felt like a traditional '80s special that you see during the holidays. It felt like, how do I put this? It felt like a Saturday morning preview special in a sense, but it was actually a making special. Now, I know a lot of studios like Disney have done this recently, like with the making of Frozen that they showed on ABC. I know they do that. I know that they have done a ton of those making of specials, but we haven't seen them for a couple of years. I think the last one, like I said, that we saw was the making of Frozen, and that's because Frozen became such a big hit and became so impactful that it exceeded even what the people at Disney that worked on it, expected it to do. And as I watched this special, I had that same feeling that have had when I saw the making of Frozen special. Yeah, I saw it on demand. Don't get me wrong, but when I saw it anyway, I still got that feeling of, you know, this is something that I would have watched on a Friday evening, or in this case, a Saturday evening at this time when it came on, back when I was a kid, back when I grew up in the '80s and in the '90s, or early to mid '90s. You know, this is something that I would have watched and grown up with and enjoyed. So to get that feeling once again watching this special, this making of special, it really got me more excited to see this movie. And if you have not seen this special, I recommend that whoever posts it online, or if Discovery Family puts it on demand, however you see it, whether it's online through one of the social media sites or through on demand through Discovery Family or Hasbro's site or whatever, I highly recommend checking out this special. Because if you had any doubt about going to see this film, this movie will change your mind. This movie will shatter any doubt you might have, and it'll probably make you consider even more so to go see this. Because the way they presented it, the way the presentation of this making of special came across was they gave us they gave us exactly what we needed. They gave us what we wanted here. They gave us by almost, well, they did it kind of in order. They did it in order, if you will, but they gave us enough in order to make us be like to make us be like, wow, maybe this is more than I would have hoped for. Maybe this is more than I thought it would be. Because when when they explained basically when they explained basically, you know, the fact that they had decided to come up with doing a movie, one of the reasons they decided to do it was due to the fact that I think it was, I don't know, who was it, Jason Teresen that they talked to, he was one of the people they talked to. He said that basically Equestria, the land where the ponies and the friends lived, that, when he first came across it, he thought, oh, it'll be a good show for little kids. But when he saw exactly what I think Lauren Faust had in mind, and maybe even Megan McCarthy, who came in afterwards, had in mind, he realized basically that, wow, there's more to this story. There's more to these characters and the land that they live in than we expect, than we can even fathom. So he realized that this potentially has the ingredients to be showcased in a feature film. And that's what we're getting here. One of the things I like that they did here, as I said, is they went in order of what you're going to see in the movie. They talked about the main six. They talked to the voice actors behind them and explained exactly what's going to be happening. Explained that, in the TV series, we're always getting the ponies and adventures that they're dealing with all centered around Equestria or a little bit, or just a bit beyond it, but just mostly around Equestria, like Ponyville, Griffinstone, you name it, Canterlot, Crystal Empire, you name it. So they go on to explain that the way they wanted this film the way they wanted the journey to feel, basically what they did here is they explained that they wanted to put the characters on an adventure that was going to take them out of their safety zone. It was going to take them beyond Equestria and into other parts of the world they didn't think of existed or knew of existed, or probably had heard of but didn't think of even going there, to try to save their part of the world, their land, their home. And the way they explained how they were doing this is, unlike the TV show where things are scaled down to be like pony size, here, to give it more of that epic grand feel, they had to take the animation beyond Flash to Toon Boom. They basically explained that they had to rebuild almost from scratch everything to give it a new epic, more bigger epic feel than you would see in the television show. And again, they focused, like I said, first of all, on the main six, which was good. They kind of showcased some of the moments that they would have. Now, one thing people might ask is, did they show some spoilers? of anything in the movie that we should be aware of? I'm not going to say they did, but there is a part in the special, if you watch it, that at the beginning, I think it's like talking about the main six or before that, they might have a scene in there that kind of spoils a portion of the film that nobody wants to have spoiled. So I'm not going to say anything more than that. you know, I'm not going to say any more than that. But I will say this. I will say this. The words are, I'm trying to think of the words. I will say this. What, what was I thinking? Oh, sorry, my brain just went blank there for a second. Oh yeah. Basically, basically what basically what they've done is that, like I said, they were focusing on the main six, on the main six here, and basically focusing on moments that they have in the film. And I like the little references they throw in there from the film. And again, like I was saying, they were. I mean, I'm sorry if I spaced out there for a second. I was trying to think about what I was going to say. Uh, but basically, basically they point out that the main six are going on an adventure that is so epic and big that instead of being pony sized like you would see in the show, you have to have it on a grander scale, and that's why they got the animation studio that they did. That's why they had to rebuild stuff from scratch. That's why when you look at the trailer, you look at the clips, it feels bigger and grander than what you see in the show. So I liked how they started off talking about the main six. I did like how they kind of talked about the history of the franchise and how far it's come and how far it has come to getting to where it is now. The only thing they didn't mention was, and I guess they want to kind of avoid this because, according to a lot of sources, the original My Little Pony 1986 film is kind of like the black sheep of Hasbro. So I guess that's why they want to ignore it. But anyway, anyway, they basically talk about the history a little bit. They acknowledge it, and like I said, then they focus on like the main six, what the story is, and then after that, and again, they do this also by talking to a lot of the actresses and the voice talent behind the characters. You even get scenes in here you don't see in the clip. You don't see through a lot of the clips, the TV spots and trailers. You finally hear Applejack talking, where she tells where they have this scene. I'm not gonna I don't know what part in the movie it's in, but they have this scene where five of the main six, along with Spike, are looking up at something impressively, and Applejack's like, "Okay, don't get your hopes up," or it's like not that, but okay, something like, "Okay, don't get excited, y'all," or something like that. She says some kind of line of, "Okay, don't get excited." So at least she is talking in the film. That's cool. And you do get other scenes. You do get Celestia talking. It looks like they give her more of a majestic echo. It sounds like Nicole Oliver, who does her voice, was given more of an echoey, like kind of majestic tone to the voice, maybe. So I guess that's kind of cool, especially since it's a movie. Um, but yeah, they like I said, they took time out to talk to some of the voice talent behind the characters, and even show certain moments with them. And then after that, they went and they talked to the celebrity voice cast that they got, and they mentioned how when they came on board, it was like the perspective of MLP, like Emily Blunt's perspective, changed almost drastically, and how they enjoyed and embraced the characters that they were inhabiting, that they were going to lend their voices to. They mentioned, when they mentioned Emily, Tempest Shadow, they mentioned that she's very dark and everything, and she's everything that she's everything the ponies are not, and as you know, everything the ponies are not in the film. And they talk about how you know how her character is, how she's kind of malevolent, how she's kind of just dark and gritty and just you know full of uh, uh, how do I say this? Just full of anger, if you will, darkness, if you will. She's kind of full of, little of that darkness that she has in her. So, and Emily, and basically give Emily Blunt a lot of credit because she does acknowledge that this is a character that is not to be messed around. She takes things seriously. She's very like get the job done, no goofing off kind of like antagonist. Now, when they get to the Storm King, I think what's his name, Levi, Levi Schreiber, who does the Storm King. When they get to him, and before they talk to Levi, they mention that the Storm King is very humorous, very comedic, but very sinister. He's basically a very maniacal prime antagonist. He's basically like uh, very shrewd villain in a sense that he'll make jokes, he'll make laughter and have fun at others' expense. And the clips they show are some of the clips we've already seen in the trailers and in TV spots. They even show they even show a spot. They even show a scene from the movie where he looks at the castle that they've taken over, and he's like, there's something about this castle that just seems a little off. Oh, that's right, cuteness, or whatever he wants to call it, or whatever line he used. And they show us another scene where he's like, "Oh, let's get this storm started." And he's like, "Ooh, maybe I should trademark that," stuff like that. So they did show some scenes. Again, I'm not trying to give much away, but this is what they showed in the special to give you an idea of what you're going to get with the Storm King. Basically, he's a very vicious, maniacal, very not malevolent, but very vicious, uh, maniacal, easy for me to say, villain that, like I said, finds the humor in the despair of others. So, yeah. They did talk about Capper and who he is, and I like how there is one scene. Obviously, people, if you've seen the special, have seen a clip of it. They show a scene where Twilight, I think it's telling Fluttershy or Pinky that she doesn't think they can trust him, and he introduces himself and basically says the line that we saw in the featurette that they have here on YouTube, where he's like, "Charming's my game." So, and you can tell. I will give some people credit. You can tell there's some kind of attraction, maybe there's some kind of attraction uh, to him from Rarity, but I think you can kind of see that with the other six of the main five. You kind of see that maybe with Rainbow Dash a little bit when she says he's awesome, but you don't see anything else beyond maybe a little bit of Rarity being attracted to him or being smitten by him. Again, can't really say can't make anything out of that because she's been smitten with other characters in the show before, so let's leave it at that. And and of course you get the compliment from Rainbow Dash, so that's pretty cool. And they do show a scene with him using Spike like a blowtorch a little bit. So I'm guessing that's going to be some kind of bonding between the two. Like maybe there might be a distrust, but then Spike will be like, "Hey, this guy's pretty cool. Maybe he'll understand why. Like maybe he'll understand through bonding with this Capra character that he'll see maybe the attraction that is that the mayor he's attracted to finds in Capper. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how they play off of him in the film. Then they get to Captain Sereno. They talk about her and how what her character is, and she's like I say, she's voiced by Zoe, and Zoe basically says that she's a captain that looks after her crew like family and takes care of them. And there's even a scene in there where her character calls for lunch, and you're thinking, okay, what part of the movie is that from? And then later on, you have a scene where Rainbow Dash questions the fact, wait a minute, you had us at our hooves, ready to drop us off this ship, via your plank, and you stop it for lunch, and you stop because you call for lunch. So, yeah, or something like that, something in that matter. But yeah, basically, you could tell that even if they want to get somebody to walk the plank, that she won't have them do it on an empty stomach. So she does care about the crew, and I really like that. I really liked how Zoe really. I mean, and this goes for all the celebrity voice actors. I like how they basically say that they enjoyed doing the characters that they did and had fun doing them. After that, they talked to Christine Chenoweth, who was very complimentary, very pretty much came out and said she enjoyed being Princess star and everything. So, and how she got a kick out of it. And you got some scenes in there you had seen before, some scenes you didn't, through this making of special. And you know, give it credit to Christine Chenoweth. She really, I believe, brought it with the character. Even though I have not seen the movie yet, and I'm going to see it opening day, hopefully, if things work out. Uh, but give it to Christine Chenoweth. Uh, she really was very, like I say, very complimentary and very of the character of the work she did on the movie, and obviously you could tell she enjoyed voicing Skystar. The other person they talked to was Uzo. I think that's the name, Uzo Adaba, who voices Queen Nova. And you could definitely tell she had fun with this character. You could definitely tell that if they wanted to go a racial kind of thing with these characters, you could definitely tell Novo is of African American descent. If they wanted to do the ponies and the pony-like creatures in that way, um, I like how she mentions what who Queen talks about who Queen Novo is, what her history is, and I like some of the scenes they have between Novo and Skystar. Like Skystar wants to tell the story of how they came to be, and Novo's like, "Oh, don't you dare!" Or there's a scene where she's like, "Honey," and I guess she's telling Twilight this. She's like, "Honey, I'm the queen. I know everything." So, can I guess that's basically talking about the fact that she knows about the Storm King. Overall, you could definitely tell again, Uzo Odaba had a lot of fun voicing the character here. Then, of course, they talked to, I think, what was his name? Uh, Michael Piena, who voices Grubber. And you could tell he had fun with it. He had fun, you could tell he's a bit more comedic. He's more of a comedian. And he brings that comedic flair, especially when he's talking about his character, because he says that they modeled Grubber after him being short and liking food and stuff like that. So, and they did show some scenes with him in there. Some scenes you had seen before, like I said, some scenes you haven't seen yet. Overall, I like how they went. Like I said, overall, I like how they started out talking about the main cast of characters from the show and the main voice talent from the show, and then went to the celebrities. Um, Another thing I like that they did that was next is they talked about the songs, and they showed how all the celebrity voice cast joined in with, because when the songs call for it, joined in with the established voice cast to sing some of the songs. And they showed a sequence from the song that Pinkie Pie and Skystar does. They talk about how that's a duet. They showed the song that the main six sing along with the rest of Ponyville about the festival of friendship and we've got this together. Uh, and I like how they're very complimentary about it. It's like I like how what I enjoyed here is how they talked about how each song was representing a different kind of genre of music. You know, like with Ty Diggs' song for Capper, they mentioned that the song that he did, which was I think "I'm the Friend You Need," was done in a tango kind of way, and you could tell that he had fun with this. You could tell that the animators had fun animating this musical number. That was cool. You could tell again that Zoe had fun doing her musical number with Ashley Ball, who does Rainbow Dash for "It's Time to Be Awesome." Awesome, and how they said they needed some kind of a pirate-like song, but a pirate song that was kind of more like remembering who you are and being true to yourself, and that's what "Time to Be Awesome" is about. And then when they got to Tempest's song "Open Your Eyes," and how Emily Blunt brought that in, just blew them away. Well, actually, when they heard Zoe, who's doing the voice of Captain Sorrel, do her singing for her character, it blew them away. So they knew, so they were blown away by that, which is saying something. But when they did Open Your Eyes for Tempest, they knew that Emily Blunt, because of her background, would bring it, and she did. And the way it was done is basically they said it's done in a very powerful ballad like way to where you kind of get an understanding of who she is, what her background is. And you can kind of tell that she's trying to get Twilight to in this through the song to try to make her open her eyes to the fact that I guess that more can be done with the magic that they have than just having parties and all that. I don't really know. I have to listen to the soundtrack. I have it, but I have to listen to it. Uh, but overall, yeah, you could definitely tell that they had fun on animated this sequence too, because they had fun animating that musical sequence as well. And then of course they talk about Sia and how she voices Songbird Serenade. They didn't do the rainbow portion, but they did mention how she wrote an original song for it, so that was pretty cool. Or wrote the original song for it, so that was pretty cool. The one thing I will say about this is when I saw the music, when I got the sneak peek through this making of special, when I got the sneak peek of how these musical numbers are being presented, I know, and people watching me live talking about this know, right? They know that when they saw the sneak peeks to these musical numbers that they got a Disney like vibe to it, a traditional Disney vibe from the golden age, from the Disney Renaissance age, from the Renaissance age of Disney animation. You got that vibe. You got that vibe from the Disney from the fact that it felt like you were watching a film from the Disney Renaissance age, from the Renaissance age of Disney feature animation. That's what it felt like with some of these musical numbers. It felt like you were watching musical numbers that you would see in a classic Disney animated film from the Renaissance age during times of Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Lion King. So to get that kind of a vibe, it's like, wow, unbelievable. And then, of course, they ended off by talking about, again, like I said earlier, about how they made the jump from Flash to 2D. And that the reason they wanted to do this is because not only were they making the jump from the small screen to the silver screen, but by making that jump, they couldn't just have things scaled or have things remain the same way you saw them in the show. They basically had to up their A game to another level so that what you would see wouldn't be on the same level as what you saw on television, but be more of a grander, epic scale than would basically than what you've ever seen before. And and I like how they mentioned that the main reason they also did this was not just because they were going to the big screen and they wanted to give you that more bigger epic feel, but also the fact that because you had to have the main six and Spike go outside of Equestria to find help to save Equestria, to save the land, that by having them go outside of uh, of their home, basically go beyond the borders to seek help, to seek help to save the land, that that was one of the main reasons they had to go up the scale as far as the animation and start almost from scratch, as with Toon Boom Harmony, because they had to give it that bigger epic scale to make things feel grander, make things feel bigger, more gigantic, stuff like that. So overall, they did overall. When I look at this, so overall, I could definitely say that just by what they showed us behind the scenes, they have accomplished that. They have definitely have accomplished that, and I'll talk about that more so when I do a review on the movie after I see it, depending on if I'll be able to see it on opening day, which I'm still planning to do. But overall, when I look at this special, folks, again, like I said at the beginning, you definitely get a nostalgic, classic Disney-like vibe from the special when it comes to the making and the behind the scenes of how the film is made. You definitely get a Saturday morning like preview special, especially the way it was presented, entered, and hosted and stuff. You definitely get a whole combination of all that thrown in here. So overall, I do recommend seeing this. If you've not seen it yet, check it out either online, depending on whatever social media or video site may have it. Check it out on demand if Discovery Family puts it on demand, and see basically for yourself the effort that was the absolute A double plus effort that was put into this film. And perhaps it'll change your mind about going to see it in the theaters when it comes out. So, because they said it best. Don't take my word for it. They said it best. They said it's got something for kids and adults because they know that they even acknowledge, I believe throughout they acknowledge the fan base that's gone beyond what they thought it should be. So like I said, so basically they did acknowledge that, but they did say there's going to be stuff in here for kids, adults to enjoy. There's going to be humor. There's going to be heart. There's going to be music. So it's basically from what they said. It's got a lot. It's basically got everything. Just got about a little bit of everything for everyone. It's got action, adventure. It's got comedy. It's got humor. It's got heart. It's got music. It's got a little bit of everything for everyone. So overall, again, I can't recommend this any more than I am now. I really can't, because if you're not sure yet about going to see the film, and that's your choice if you don't want to see it, but if you're not too sure yet, but just considering it, watch this special on demand or through whatever social media or video site may air it, and maybe, hopefully, that'll change your mind about seeing the My Little Pony movie when it comes out to theaters. So that's all really I'm going to say on it, folks. And that's all I'm really going to say on it, folks. Folks, again, I do recommend seeing this making of special if you can find a way to see it. But that's all I'm going to say. Thank you all for watching live. I really appreciate it. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. And thank you all for watching post live. Basically, after this has been uploaded and recorded, let me know what you guys think. And I will talk to you all later. God bless. Take care. But I do highly recommend going to see this making of special because it might just change your mind.